Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode number 15 of the Whitey and Will Sports Show. It's Sunday, December 19th. We're doing this on Sunday evening, and we have got another Effingham-Teutopolis Christmas Classic episode to do for you this week. And we're joined by some of the coaches that are going to be participating in that tournament. In fact, another coach, we're just getting going here. And just as we're getting going, another coach from the tournament has jumped on. So we're going to give Troy Bierman a chance to saddle up. But Mike, I told you before we started that for this episode, since you're so into since you're so in tune with this tournament, you've got so much to do with it. I'm going to let you take the keys and drive this thing. So why don't you introduce everyone that has joined us, and I'll let you drive this conversation.
Okay, first of all, Troy, can you hear us?
Yes, I
Troy
can. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Your picture looks like your driver's license. I know you're out there in Grove where there, some people can't spell internet, so you'll be okay. All right, so we'll introduce everybody. First off, and I'm just going around the horn because I don't know who can see this, but Rich Kolimas is coach at Lincoln Way East. Rich, 22 years?
This is my 23rd year at Lincoln Way East.
23 years. You guys have been at the tournament. Is your 5th year?
I think this will be our 5th year.
Yeah, because we had West one year, and they had Marco whatever, and they were too good to come back. So your district AD said, well, we'll send you East. And trust me, we love the trade. So we never look back.
No, it's been terrific for us. We look forward to coming down.
All right. And then also we have Jason Rhodes from Oaklawn. Jason, you guys 6th year in the tournament?
I think this will be year 7.
7, okay. Because I know you guys were one of our earlier as we were expanding. And you guys are near. I didn't realize you were right around Midway.
We're pretty close to Midway, yeah. Much rather fly out of Midway than O'Hare, for sure.
Oh, well, I hate driving to O'Hare, but I get scared.
So do I.
Landing at Midway is like landing on a football field. They drop you in the sky there. Also for Mattoon, we have Ryan Ghere. And then from Newton, our new coach. Now, Ryan, I know Mattoon's been every year, but this is your 4th as a coach?
I think 5th.
5th as a coach, okay.
We got last year, yeah.
Okay. And then also we're being joined tonight by Troy Bierman. Troy's at Newton. Newton is one of our new teams this year. Troy has had the fortune of spending probably 3 or 4 years on the bench with me when I was volunteering at T-Town. Troy was a JV coach, so Troy's been just through osmosis. He learned a lot.
Yeah, a lot of long car rides with you as well.
Because we never rode the bus, which was good. But yeah, he logged a lot of miles together. Well, first of all, gentlemen, I want to thank you. We may be joined by Chicago Brooks coach George Montgomery. I communicate with George, and George says, yeah, I'll be on there. Well, he may have forgotten, so that's okay. If we get George on, we'll get him on because he is a lot of fun to talk to. Couple things I want to say before we get started, and I know I've talked to all of you throughout, but seating this year was I'd have much rather gone to the dentist. It was really a chore because it's not like you're seating a regional where everybody plays everybody for the most part, or you all see everybody. We've got people from far northern end of the state, and some people from the St. Louis, a team from St. Louis. So, and sometimes the records aren't the same again, because, competition, like I know George has played Kenwood and Curry this year, I think are both top 4 or 5 in their classes. And then I know Rich, you guys have played a couple heavyweight schools as well. So you guys have all played differing schedules. So, it was a lot of work, and but we think we're pretty happy with the way it shook out. Rich, we'll start with you since we introduced you first. Just briefly, where are you at this year?
So our record right now is 2-8, which probably would surprise a lot of people when you see us run out on the floor, and looks like we've got a lot of good athletes, and would expect maybe for us to have a little better record than we do at this point. But we're everyone's young. I like when coaches say we're a young team. Well, we're all kind of young. We're coaching young guys, and so we're all young, but we're inexperienced. Matter of fact, when I was saying we're going down to Effingham, and then I realized not one player on the team has been down there.
Really?
Yeah. So this is going to be a new experience for them, and they're going to love it, because the reason we go down, we get away for a while, and we look forward to just bonding a little bit. We look forward to the competition. We see different styles of basketball being played. What we really see, what I've always enjoyed, is the how hard the teams play. Number one, the teams play extremely hard, and then how cohesive the teams usually are. Usually, roles are well defined on the teams, and the teams really play well together. I always come away with new ideas about what we need to do in the second half based on what we've seen down at your tournament. So it's been an outstanding arrangement for us to go down, and these guys are going to enjoy it. The Effingham-Teutopolis area just loves basketball. You can feel that when we go out to the restaurants. The people are asking us how things are going, how we're playing. The guys enjoy it, and I know we'll have a good time this year as well.
That's good. And one thing I want to add, I know you guys are on the Teutopolis side this year, and since you've never had kids down here, they get their initial experience of Jeff Hardick convincing them to try pork burgers after dinner. Because you guys don't have pork burgers in Chicago. And Jeff's he's becomes the world's greatest salesman. And finally one kid will say, okay, I'll try it. And then, hey, can I have another one? And then it's hilarious. It's like the most entertaining thing in the tournament when you guys, Oaklawn's been in the same situation. Hey, what? No, we don't have those. And so that's always fun. So really, you guys, none of your kids being down here, plus
No.
You're defending champ.
Yeah. So imagine that. So yeah, we only have 3 seniors on the team, and none of them were part of it when we were down there a couple of years ago. So it'll be a new experience for them. And when they get to the classic gym at Teutopolis, it's just outstanding. I mean, the game we played against Teutopolis 2 or 3 years ago, I'll never forget the level of competition, how heated it was. It's a terrific experience. So when the kids look back at their high school career, this will be one of their highlights that they talk about, is this holiday tournament. We went down, and that you played 2 games on the second game. That's a new experience. I mean, I know they do that in AAU, but the games kind of count this time. It's not just go out there and play. And so it's a different experience, and it's very memorable for them.
Jason, Oaklawn, where are you guys at right now?
So we are 6-1, but we haven't played in a week and a half now. We got paused after we played last Tuesday night, or a week ago Tuesday, and then we're all set to play on Friday, but we had a couple kids out, and so it was kind of at the point where we wanted to make sure we were being safe for everybody. And even though we have a test to stay here, it was just, deemed a little too risky to continue to play, even though we had played without a couple guys in our game on Tuesday. So, but like our group, we have 9 seniors, and 7 of them play quite a bit. So we're a little deeper than a typical year here at Oaklawn, and it's a fun group to coach. They've really come together. Even this last week when we were really, going non-contact in practice, the energy was great in the gym, which I was a little concerned about So we have two kids that played on our team a couple years ago. The last time we were there, Johnny McGowan and Nico Reyes. Those are our two best backcourt players. And that was, in our group chat when we paused the season, that was, the first question, are we still going to Effingham? So, the guys really look forward to this event, this tournament. And yeah, like Rich said, definitely a highlight for them every season, something they look back on.
Well, and last time you guys were here, you've taken a title, having the all-time tournament leading scorer with Sammy Osmani is now our all-time leading scorer.
Yeah. Sammy was a heck of a player, obviously. The most competitive kid I've ever coached for sure. And, he's a preferred walk-on at Creighton. He's there in his sophomore year, loves being there at Creighton, loves being part of that program. Actually had Tommy John surgery a week ago. So he's out for a little while, hurt his elbow. But yeah, you'll see him on TV if you ever watch Creighton on Fox Sports 1. He'll make a few appearances celebrating on the bench there.
I noticed he knows where the camera is, which
He always
doesn't
does,
surprise me.
Yep, always seems to find it somehow.
Because I think his senior year, and I'd seen some video because I follow your schools on Twitter. I follow a lot of your kids when I can see them. And, I was seeing these videos of him dunking. I just remember they were at T-Town's gym and there was like nothing going on and they were waiting. And he goes out there and he tried to dunk. And I said, I think you're jumping off a chair in those videos. I mean, he kind of looked at me and then he started laughing. But yeah, I saw him play in the NCAA tournament and, that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, load management wasn't a thing, a couple years ago. So he had some heavy legs. He had to play 32 minutes pretty much every game for us. So.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Ryan, tell us about you guys.
Yeah, I think we can be pretty good. We're on a little bit of a pause right now too. We didn't play Thursday or Saturday that we were supposed to do. We're not going to play Tuesday. We're supposed to play Rantoul, so we've rescheduled those for all of January. So the kids are excited about that. We won't practice much in January. We're just going to play games like we did last year. So that's the first thing they said to me. We're not going to practice. So, we've lost the 3 games we've lost have been to. Well, all 3 as before last night were undefeated. I know T-Town lost last night. That's one of our losses. And Richland County's got a really good team. They're still undefeated, I think. And then Lincoln, of course, is always good. They beat us.
Right.
So, I think we're a solid group. Sam Bradbury's back. He played in the tournament a couple years ago. He's a senior, big 6'8" kid. He's gotten better. He actually played football for the first time this fall. They finally convinced him to play football, and it's really helped him. He's come in slimmer and in better shape. I think he played 32 minutes on Tuesday against Shelbyville. So he usually never does that because of conditioning or more usually because of fouls. But so he's thinner and a little more athletic this year. But I think otherwise, I don't think anybody else for us has played in this tournament other than Sam probably. So
the Middleton kid didn't play as a sophomore.
He may have played a few minutes here and there.
And I don't remember.
I don't think he played much. He may like a couple minutes a game at most, but yeah. So he really came on for us last year. So, we're looking forward to it. Our kids are excited. I think, the good thing we're having this pause right now is we should be healthy when we get everybody back, hopefully Wednesday, and have 4 or 5 practices coming into the tournament. So.
And I saw you guys play, I think 3 of your games at the Thanksgiving tournament. So I saw you play and very impressed with the Middleton kid. I just like his demeanor on the floor, as a coach, former coach. I'm not a normal fan, so I don't always watch what a fan watches. I watch, different things as if I was scouting. And I like the way he plays. I just like his how he carries himself.
Yeah, and he's just kind of even keel kid. He doesn't he goes up and dunks it, and he just jogs back or runs back to play defense. It's just like that's just part of the game. And
right,
he's really been good for us. And we played really good defense this year. That's probably been our kind of our staple every game. I think we're only allowing 36 points a game right now. So he's
and you've got those 5'11" interchangeable guards that all look like the same kid that just guard people.
That's been Mattoon basketball for the last 30 years, 5'11". We don't grow any taller than that in Mattoon. Sam must be a move-in, so
That's probably the curse of Bob Lockhart is really what
I
that
think
probably
it
is.
is. Yeah, we've never Sam's a rarity. We never have a big man, it seems like, but we can usually shoot it pretty well. So
All righty. Troy Bierman, you're brand new to this. You have no idea what you're getting yourself into.
Actually, I was there at T-Town when we first started it, a long time ago.
Right.
So I'm excited for our kids to get a chance to be, be in a tournament, be playing some different people. Even though there's guys and there's teams in this tournament that we have on our schedule, we don't see them until a little bit later. But it's nice to get away from our normal LIC conference, and in our other Christmas tournament we've been to for 36 years or something like that. And we've been over there, Dietrich. So it's just time to make a change and give our kids an opportunity to compete against some different types of teams and different styles of play for us.
And, I know you guys are off to a good start. I think you're 8-2. And the thing I know from coaching with you, you want your kids to be challenged. You told me a couple of years ago, we want to get in your tournament as soon as we get a chance because we're getting better and we want to be tested.
Right. Exactly. We're giving them an opportunity to compete. The Noon kids, you've been around these guys there. I know Mattoon said they got short guys. We got short guys. We don't have that size very often either.
Your guards are all 5'10".
Yeah, they're 5. We list them at 5'11", but they're 5'9", 5'10". I'm not very often do I look up I'm barely 6 foot, and not very often do I look at one of our guards in the eye. They're all looking up at me still. So, but we're excited about this group of guys. We're playing well enough to win some games and execute down the road in the games. Defensively, me, Mike, I've always been a defensive guy, and we're doing things that that we're trying to prove that we can belong, and that's why we want to be in the tournament. Give us a chance come into February, maybe get into March, where we've been in these situations against different schools and different styles of play and bigger kids, faster kids, stronger kids, but we're going to go out there and compete and see what happens.
I will be watching you closely for any Wilson wrinkles you've kept and thrown in out there during the game. I'm putting you on notice.
We do have some of those. I think you know which ones they are, but they're special times when they work out for us, and but then again, with your name tied to it, sometimes it really doesn't even work out for us. So
exactly,
we just throw them out.
You start rubbing your hands together like you're warming your hands. I may call a TV timeout.
Yeah, we got guys to do that. Yep, that's there. So that's ready to roll.
Well, and one thing, and Troy, you mentioned getting to play different people, and the night of the seating, I called you because we went through. We have the 16 teams on little cards. We're okay, no, okay. And we're done. We put it to bed. We're done. This is what we want to do. And your first round opponent is Charleston.
Right.
And I'm looking at my spreadsheet where I keep track of everyone's pre-tournament results. And they go out a little further, because obviously we seed at a certain date, we can only base on what's happened. And you play Charleston this Tuesday.
Yeah. I know, and I told you, I was honest with you about, I really wanted to play somebody different, but
right.
Since Noon's left the Apollo, when we used to play the Apollo home and away, you had a chance to prepare twice for a team, and we look at this seeding, we get Charleston this Tuesday, and then get a week later, for postseason purposes, we're going to play T-Town again, Pana, teams that are on our schedule that we don't get to see twice. So it's a great chance for myself as a coach to grow and hopefully learn how to prepare for another team that we're going to have to beat again later on. So we like that opportunity. Like I told you, we're going to have to play somebody probably eventually because we do play quite a few guys in the area there. But it's exciting for us. We're hopefully up for the challenge. We feel we're going to be ready to play. Just like everybody else, health's been an issue for us. I know for the first time ever, we canceled practice on Wednesday. We got to school after playing St. Anthony Tuesday night and didn't have a lot of guys there at school. It was it's hitting Jasper hard just like everybody else. So we got away from it. Thursday was very light, and then we picked up some energy and played well on Friday night against Robinson. So
Yeah,
hopefully
I saw
we're
it has a
coming
nice,
back. And
good overtime win there.
it was we still got one kid that's been playing men's for us as a sophomore at the varsity level for about 10, 15 minutes a game, and he hasn't been back since Saturday. So hopefully he comes back this week and we
Okay.
get healthy just like everybody else. At least compete, get everybody there, and we'll see what happens. Just again excited to be able to be part of this tournament.
Rich, kind of for you and Jason, what makes you guys keep coming back?
Go ahead, Jason. You start it up.
Well, number one, it's the hospitality room.
Yeah. And we all know that the Teutopolis hospitality room is always a little better than we don't officially compete, but trust me, we compete.
Well, that's the great thing is you can go, play at Effingham and eat there and then go scout at Teutopolis and eat over there too. So,
Yeah.
No, but seriously, just, and Rich kind of said it before, but just the whole community coming out, everybody's such basketball fans there. And, like Rich said, asking you about your team and just very hospitable and kind. And, everybody's very positive. And it's just, the guys kind of feel like stars a little bit, when they come to play. So you guys just do a great job. It's very fun. And it's a great chance for the kids to bond, away from home for a few days. So,
because I remember when you and I talked about you coming, you said, we're trying to build a program and we've got to get away from the ordinary to do that.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's always kind of a little bit of a turning point. You learn a lot about yourself as a team, playing some schools in quick succession that you don't ordinarily see. And, again, as Coach Kolimas said, and he's very wise, like you figure some stuff out and, you take some things away that you can implement in the second half of the season. So.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We used to host our own Christmas tournament at Lincoln Way, and it's tough. It's tough keeping teams in the tournament, and the attendance wasn't that great at our tournaments towards the end, and it wasn't special to play it during the Christmas time because our student body wouldn't be there. They wouldn't come out. So we started looking elsewhere, and I've taken teams to Proviso East to play in the Proviso tournament or Proviso West, and York. York runs a good tournament, but
there's 32 teams.
Yeah, and then Hinsdale South. But these are teams we see, Mike. These are teams we see.
Right.
We'll see them during the summer, or we'll be playing them non-conference. And I just like the idea. We're playing Pleasant Plains. I have no idea what Pleasant Plains looks like this year. I have no idea. And, we'll do some scouting. I'm sure my assistants will be on it, and we'll know something about them before we get down there. But it's a pleasure to go against these coaches who see things a little differently. And if they have 5'11", they're using 5'11" very effectively. And those guys will be able to shoot the ball. We went 1 for 19 from 3 on Friday. Okay, we went 1 for 19. I guarantee Newton's not going 1 from 19 from 3. I guarantee it. They're shooting the ball well. You've got to go and contest it. If they're small, they're swarming the post on you, and they're making you adjust and do different things. So I really enjoy seeing the different teams and teams we would never ever face during the regular season.
Yeah. Coach Weber at Plains is a T-Town alum.
Yeah.
So there'll be some of that Kenny Crawford. We're going to get in your face and guard you.
Yeah.
They've been up and down. Now they've been the victim of being canceled, having other schools,
Oh,
their timing has been where I think they've lost 3 games in a week because they hit everyone perfect when they were closing down. So, but no, I talked to Kyle quite a bit, and he said he did a little research, and Plains or Lincoln Way have neither have lost a first round game in our tournament. So he's already he probably was in the gym somewhere sitting in a corner scouting you. You know,
yeah.
he may have got away and got up there to see.
Yeah, I bet they're practicing right now. I notice he's not here.
Yeah. Well, T-Town used to practice Sunday night, so there's a good chance Plains is in the gym right now.
That's right.
So,
I just want to throw out there that the actual answer to that question, why do you come to this tournament, is just to get Mike Wilson to stop calling you, right? I mean,
well, could be.
Well, I didn't want to bring that up, but it's a valid point.
Now, Ryan, obviously you guys don't have a lot of travel. You're, 20 minutes, 25 minutes. I'm guessing you've been hesitant when you found out the Wilson family and Wilson wasn't your host family. So, because we had you twice?
Yeah, you did.
I think because one of the things I know, Rich and Jason, with you guys being in hotels, the teams that don't have hotels, we offer to send you to a host family. So you go to a house, we'll, load you full of crap food and Gatorade and water and let you play Xbox or sleep, whatever you want to do for a couple hours. Because I know we got a spot for you, Troy. We've got a spot for you guys. My Champaign schools, I don't think they have really figured it out what we're doing yet. So, and somebody else, Charleston, new coach, I don't think was interested in it, but I assume that's what drives you to keep coming back.
Yeah, you know what? We play more games in Effingham County than we do in Coles County this year. We've got 11 games in Effingham County and 9 in Coles County. So it's our home away from home. But, our kids love going to somebody's house and just hanging out all afternoon. The house we were at 2 years ago, they had pool tables. And, I mean, they loved it. So, it's a good way to spend 3 or 4 hours together in the afternoon and hang out. But, like I said, Effingham County is our home away from home right now. We feel like we're down there all the time. Thanksgiving tournament, Christmas tournament. We play in the T-Town shootout. We play at T-Town. It seems like we play at T-Town every year. We never play them at home for some reason. But I don't know who's
travel. They're like Lincoln.
Yeah.
We tried to get Lincoln on the schedule when I was AD, and they would pay us to come there. They wouldn't do a home and home.
No, so we missed out on it last year playing T-Town at home. But so yeah, we just keep. I mean, like everybody said, we got to play different teams. And I think what we appreciate is you try to separate the Apollo schools.
Right, and we do.
We end up playing Effingham or Charleston, it's because we both did well or we both did poorly and deserve to play each other. So we like the way you put us in quadrants so we don't have to play each other again right off the bat. And we got to play St. Thomas More, who we haven't seen since they were at the Thanksgiving tournament. So we enjoy that. And then, Oaklawn or somebody else the second round. So, I mean, it's good competition and you got to play well. And I like the idea of just turning around and playing again and not a lot of prep work and just seeing where you're at. You got to kind of worry about yourself more than you worry about who you're playing.
And, we're doing something new this year for coaches. I think Tuesday night, like at 9:30, 10 o'clock, we're going to offer a little mixer for you. I know you guys are in hotels, give you a chance just to meet some of the other coaches and meet the committee. I know 2 years ago, Dixon was here. I've not said more than 4 words to Dixon or Champaign's coach, Centennial's coach, because I'm always on the T-Town side. And, subconsciously, we try to keep people going back and forth. It doesn't always work that way, but we try to do that. So, we're hoping to maybe get something there that night just to, just coaches just talk and, hear lies. I know what happens when coaches get together. It's not much different than when we have a committee meeting. You should see those. We should start videoing those for the coaches. See if you really do want to come to this tournament because it's nuts. All right. Last thing, Rich, probably, I know I mentioned the Bellevue kid earlier. He's going to be a junior,
Yeah,
or he is a junior. I should
he's a
say.
junior.
Nice kid. Any other kids we should kind of be watching for?
Yeah, and it was good on Friday. Kyle Olabegi really stepped up and played well. I think he had 16 points, 10 assists. Yeah, he did hang on the rim and got a technical when we tried to throw him an alley-oop. But he's a kid who's coming on. He's a super aggressive kid. And it was good Friday. Our leading scorer was our fourth leading scorer on Friday. So 3 other guys stepped up and started to shoot the ball well, other than from 3. For whatever reason, we weren't making our threes on Friday. But so Ty Tolliver's been our leading scorer, 2-man. He can score. The kid can score the ball. And like I said earlier, it'll be good to get Josh Ellison, who's new to our program, back into the lineup, because he kind of steadies us. He's a strong point guard, and he's been injured for a while, so it'll be good to get him back.
Jason, I know you mentioned your 2 guards. Now, is one of them going to Duquesne?
Not Duquesne, Dubuque, a little different.
Okay. Different school.
Yep.
I knew there was a duh in there.
He's going to Dubuque. Just a great kid, hard worker, and really shoots the ball really well for us. He's our second leading scorer. Actually, our leading scorer is our big guy. So similar story to Bradbury from Mattoon, Davion Lawrence, 6'6". He came back after COVID last January. He was 290. Could barely squeeze into his uniform, but he's dropped about 55 pounds, played football for the first time this fall, and that really helped him, athletically and in terms of his agility. And he's played really, really well for us. He's averaging about 14 and 8.5 rebounds. So he kind of gives us a little bit of a centerpiece offensively that we typically do not have. Somebody that can score and also create out of the post for us. And then we have a junior guard, Aham Salah, who's also averaging double figures, shooting the ball really pretty well from 3. He stepped up when Nico Reyes was out for a couple games, and actually led us in scoring over at Tinley Park in the last game that we played. So, and then, like I said, just a good group of seniors who know their roles and play to their strengths. And so it's worked out pretty well for us so far. We're hopeful that we can keep it rolling.
Okay. Ryan, I know we mentioned Bradbury and Middleton.
Yeah, those are the 2 you see when they walk in the gym. Those are the 2 you notice. We've been without Bergstrom, our point guard, the last 2 games, and we've struggled without him. It'd be nice to get him back. He'll be back in the gym tomorrow. So we've missed him a lot. But he's kind of our leader, probably our best shooter and scorer, actually. And then we've had a really nice surprise with Christian Larson, who's a junior. You watch him play, he should have been in the movie Hoosiers. The way he plays, he's old school. He's gonna up and under you, and he actually scored 16 in the second half against Shelbyville the other day when we pulled away, and he led us in scoring that night. So he's been a real big surprise for us this year. He was our 6th man the first 4 games, and he's moved into a starting role, and he's really stepped up his game. So proud of him. He's worked really hard. So after that, we're pretty even. When we play well, we have like 5 or 6 guys with 6 to 10 points each, and spread the ball around. And that's kind of been when we've been successful this year. We've had Sam with about 12 or 14 points, and Cooper with about 12 points, and then 4 or 5 guys with 6 to 8. So we're pretty versatile that way. But yeah, we don't really have, other than Sam and Jalen, stand out, but pretty balanced team.
Yeah, Ryan, I was broadcasting your game with Effingham where you beat them by 40,
Right.
and the thing that I saw with your team that night was that you could play both ways. You played well in the half court, but also got out in transition so well that night. Had a lot of kids that could start the fast break for you. And if Effingham didn't get back quick enough, I mean, you were running 3-on-2 against them all night long. It felt like to me.
Yeah. Yeah. If anybody gets a rebound but Sam, we can go with that guy. I mean, he gets it to a guard and we can go. Yeah, we can slow it down and play big man in the middle, or I'd rather run myself. But our games have been usually in the we've been in the 50s and our opponents have been in the 30s. But we can get up and down the floor as well if we need to.
Troy, some individuals from the Newton Eagles.
We got 8 seniors on the team this year, 6 that play a lot. We got a couple Schaefer boys. I don't think they're related at all. Evan and Mason. Those two have kind of been our leading scorers, but we're not a typical where one guy is going to go out and get 20. They're 12 to 15 a piece each night in that range. Then Ben Meinhardt's another one. So we got about 3 guards that can shoot the ball, handle the ball. We do a lot of offensive things to give them open shots, because we're not overly gifted with size. So we're setting the screens. We're game planning to get the mismatch that we want and give the guys a chance to get some open shots and score. So just like Mattoon, the games we didn't win or struggled in, one guy had a lot more than the other ones and, just wasn't working for us. But we played, last night or 2 nights ago, Robinson, I think we were 17, 14, 16. And then we had another sophomore off the bench that he's kind of the Parker Wolf boy. So we got our own Parker Wolf. Effingham had one for a long time, but we got one now. And
He doesn't ride bulls, does he?
What's that? No, he don't. No, he don't ride bulls. No,
Okay.
no, he doesn't ride bulls. He had 13 points off the bench for us. Athletic kid. Played really well. Got a couple of those sophomores that came off and they're starting to score for us now. So just like everybody else, a balance attack we try to do. We don't really force it down one guy's throat to do scoring for us because we won't be successful if we do that. So we want to get everybody, but those 3 are our main guys this year that we expect to go out and get some points for us and give us a chance to win.
Okay, good. Just a couple things. Effingham's 2-7. I don't think they've won since Thanksgiving tournament. Ryan, you didn't play them at Thanksgiving. Yeah, you did.
We did. We beat them by 12 at Thanksgiving.
3rd place game.
And then I think they'd had a 9-day layoff when we played them at our place, and everything kind of went right for us and nothing went right for them. So, we're not 40 points better than them by any means, but nobody is. But yeah, everything just clicked. It's actually our only home game we've had all year. So we had a good crowd and kids excited and played like it. So,
I mean, the other in the Holy Trinity, just to give you guys, St. Anthony's now
7-4, maybe.
7-4.
Big Charles.
They're now 7-4. They won 6 out of 7. Well, they won 6 in a row. Actually, won 7 in a row. I think the last game of the Thanksgiving tournament, and then they kind of went on a streak there. I had them the other night on the radio. They were playing Diedrich. And then they turned around and I think got beat by Charleston.
Yeah, Charleston got them by 3 points last night.
Yeah. And then T-Town's now 8-2. They just lost yesterday. They played Friday night down at Fairfield, and then Peoria Christian beat them in a shootout yesterday. They've lost one of their starters. I happen to be about 25 feet from him, sitting at the edge of the floor. He, I think MCL, ACL, he's already had surgery. He's done. And then at the Effingham game, they had their best player. He was out as well as they had another kid sick. So they were actually second from the middle of 3rd quarter on. They were without 3 starters there. I think they've still got one down who's got that little stomach bug going around down here. So, that's kind of how the Holy Trinity's doing. Gentlemen, we really look forward. One of the things I think the committee in a whole really appreciates you guys a lot. We really, we try to make it a coach-friendly tournament, but the big thing is the committee, how you guys are approachable. You guys, offer suggestions, this and that. I've reached out to you guys throughout the year. Hey, we're thinking about doing this, thinking about doing that. We value your input. I know Troy is brand new. The other 3, you're like, veterans of this tournament. So we're always trying to tweak it, always trying to do things. we always want to enhance it. And, we appreciate you guys coming down. And I think we're probably going to have our most competitive tournament we've ever had. I don't know that we're top heavy, because some years we've been really top heavy with a team or two. I don't think we're top heavy, but it's, it's tight. There's going to be some good games, and I guarantee you, day 2, you're not going to have to go very far to see some really good basketball games. I mean, really good games. And, we're excited about it. We're, knock on wood, our only concern is the 800-pound gorilla in the room. And there's nothing we can do about it. So, we can just keep hoping nothing happens. And, I'll tell you, your coaching tops are the best you've ever got. So we're excited about that. Coaches, you get a bonus. We threw in a, because I know your assistants get like long sleeve tees. We threw one of those in for you this year as well. We've doubled up on the coaching gifts. Hospitality room, we're excited. I don't know if we got anything new. There may be. I think, there may be a couple. We're doing a few things differently, but a couple of the Lilyville and Bishop cookbooks will get used there in the T-Town sides. So you'll have something that's probably a 80-year-old recipe whipped up for you. That's really, really good. So I know, Rich, you guys will play that first game at T-Town. You'll be there all day. You'll just, hey, when's the dinner shift change? And we change the menu here. But no, we appreciate it. It's we were so hurt as a committee not to be able to have a tournament last year. I mean, it was like, we start meeting in July and just gradually building up, putting things together, and we look forward to it. It's a lot of fun, and so we can't wait to get you guys down here again. And you need anything, don't hesitate to holler.
Thanks, Mike. We're looking forward to it.
All right.
Yep,
Well, thank
same.
you guys.
Thank you so
We'll
much.
see you guys in about 9 days, and we'll be ready to go.
Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas. See you in a week.
Merry
Yep,
Christmas,
Happy
guys.
holidays, everybody.
We'll talk to you later.
Later.
All right.
All right, Mike, we'll let everybody jump off and then you want to talk for a couple more minutes?
Wrap up with our local
Jump off.
stuff.
Yeah, I know they've got plenty to do as they get ready for another week of games, I guess, probably before they come down. And
Yeah, I think Oaklawn's got a game. I don't know if Mattoon does, Newton does. Lincoln Way may. I don't have their schedule. I focus on their schedule up until our seating meeting.
yeah,
Is really.
yep.
Because after that, once we we let the horses out of the barn, there's not a lot of going back and changing stuff. So
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll do kind of an abridged version this week.
Okay.
I'm not gonna go too deep into things. First of all, we did 2 attaboys last week, so we're gonna hold off this week just to
Right.
even things out. We don't want to be driving the folks at Joe's Pizza and Pizza Man into the poorhouse on our account. So
and Grace, I've got Grace Nelson. I should have a picture. I mailed that to Peggy Binker, and
Yeah.
she said she would get a picture
well, Peggy will
and
take
send
care
that back
of
to me so we can get that up on our website.
Peggy will take care of you. I like Peggy.
Well, Peggy's said she thinks she gets to go with Grace to eat that pizza, so we'll have to
Well,
see.
that's between them. That's
right. That's out of our control.
they're gonna have to work that out. But yeah, it was a busy week last week around the area, and just to sort of cap things off a little bit, Effingham ended up taking a couple of losses on the boys' side this week. They were supposed to play at Lincoln Saturday. That one got postponed to January 31st because Lincoln's in a pause of their own right now. But Effingham, they lost to T-Town 46-37 on Tuesday night. They lost to Charleston 55-45 Thursday night. I was broadcasting the T-Town game, and I watched the Charleston game online. And the record's not there for Effingham right now. You already mentioned it during this show, but the thing that I'm seeing with Effingham is that they're playing hard. They're getting after it, and that's all you can do, right? Like you just
They come out and guard you. And I was at the T-Town game sitting there watching that one, and it was T-Town really took Garrett Wolf pretty much out of the ball game. I think he maybe scored 6 points. I don't remember. They relied heavily on Jet Volpe hit a couple of perimeter shots, got to go to the basket and do some things. It was a case where Effingham guarded, Effingham fought, and they just eventually, there's enough possessions, and Obi's said it over and over, they're having trouble scoring right now.
Yeah.
And it just got to the point, a couple possessions, you don't get buckets, and that puts a lot of pressure on your defense. It really does. And I think, eventually that margin of error is so tight, and you have a couple possessions where you don't score. Now, all of a sudden, a 2-point game is a 6-point game. And when you're really hurting to put buckets, 6 becomes 12 mentally. Really, it is. And that's their biggest hurdle right now.
You mentioned Jet Volpe, and he had some good games in the Thanksgiving tournament. And I saw that and thought, he's a guy they're going to lean on this year. And he's kind of come back around recently because he had a nice game against Charleston too.
Mm-hmm.
And Charleston's 4-0 in the Apollo Conference, 8-2 overall by my count after beating St. Anthony on Saturday. So Charleston's a good club, losing by 10 points, Charleston, you played well in that game. That was a game that was up for grabs.
Did Effingham hold the lead going into the fourth quarter of that game?
Tied?
It was close.
It was tight. Yes.
Yeah.
And so they, it's one of those things, you're a team, an inexperienced team, which we talked about, right? Like they lost so much scoring from last year, and had such a great year last year. But when you have those sort of graduation losses, it takes time, and I do think that I feel like they're on the verge of figuring some things out. So, I just wanted to get some positive energy, on the show for Effingham's boys, because people might look at that record, and if they don't see anything else, they're just going to start drawing conclusions. And I don't think that's necessarily fair.
Your best player is giving you everything he has. He just isn't physically able to do the things he did last year. Mm-hmm. And granted, Garrett was option probably 3 on that team last year, but he doesn't have that quick step right now where he can beat someone off the dribble. He's not as imposing. So you watch teams giving him maybe a little cushion now, where somebody guarding him is long enough to contest, but not worried about pressuring him belly to belly, because unfortunately he's not able to take you off the dribble like he did in the past. And with the injuries he's sustained, again, I'm amazed the kid's playing, Dustin. That's just a testament to how competitive and how just hard-willed he is. But it just pains me then anytime I see kids who are hurt and struggle doing the things they're accustomed to doing. And that, Effingham, beginning of the year, they're going to have Garrett Wolf and these other kids are going to step up. Well, then all of a sudden you don't have the same Garrett Wolf, and other kids are having to step up and do maybe more than you originally thought they would before the injury. So, it's just a work in progress for Obi. It really is. But, like you said, Volpe's done pretty good. A couple other kids have shot it okay at times, taking advantage of some open looks. So they just got to try to weather the storm, and hopefully Garrett continues to get better physically. And I don't know, how much upside he still has physically, because I'm sure the poundings of practice really, I don't know. That's I hate when I see kids do that. You mentioned kids getting hurt. Caden Altoff goes down with a serious knee injury in that game. He's already had surgery.
Yeah.
Another kid who had progressed and showed so much improvement from last year to this year could guard. I mean, defensively, he was there. We got to shut this guy down. We're going to put Caden on him. Now, can Mitch Altoff guard? Yes. Can Max Nieberge guard? Can Jimmer guard? Yeah. Can Brent? Yeah. But Caden was 6'3" and athletic and long and could do things.
Yeah.
And that's going to hurt them. And I hated to see it happen because I was right there.
Yeah. And I was broadcasting that game, and you always hate when something's bad when a kid pulls up and there's no contact. He's just going in for a layup, as I recall. And then
he was kind of
he couldn't even finish
like he was going to jump, I think is what he was doing.
Yeah, and he couldn't even finish the shot because he clearly just buckled, and it was very painful.
Yep.
That's a tough thing to watch, and Chet was clearly upset talking about it after the game. And I mean, that's who I've been around Chet in enough post-game interviews now to know that, like, I mean, he's a heart on the sleeve kind of guy, right? Like,
oh yeah.
And he loves those kids, and that was a tough one for him to talk about. And you knew, based on the non-contact injury and just what you were getting out of Coach Reeder after the game, that it wasn't going to be good news, and it wasn't.
No, and Chet has a very strong bond with his kids. He really does. I mean, it's him getting a little emotional on the post game. That's him. I mean, that's real. Like you said, he wears it on his sleeve. They go down to Fairfield and get a big win. Brendan Nieberge gets fouled with 0.4 of a second, stepped to the line, buries 2 free throws to give them a 1-point win. Kind of funny. I was talking to Max Nieberge tonight. He was there picking something up for his dad. And we were talking about that. And he said in the locker room after the game, Brendan said, I don't care how many free throws I shoot in the summer. Butterflies are still flopping around when you step up with 0.4 of a second down one, shooting a 1-on-1 or shooting a 2-shot foul, I should say. Then they go to Peoria Christian or go to a shootout. Peoria Christian, who's ranked 2A, beat them 5.
50 to 45.
And again, they're still missing James Nieberge. Talked to one of the parents today actually, and he just says, the team just needs to get healthy, take their break, get healthy. So they've got the wins over Effingham, win over Fairfield, lost there. St. Anthony, I did their game with Dietrich the other night. Cody comes up on the post game and he just kind of looks at me and says, a win's a win. They played well early and then just I got in a lull.
I saw the halftime score on that one, and then I was at Neoga's game that night just watching, and saw the halftime score, then come out and get in the car after it's over with and turn on the radio, and you guys are discussing what apparently was Dietrich's last gasp chance to get a bucket at the very end of the game. I thought, wow, this thing must tighten up a little bit. 42-40 was the final score there. So not a high scoring game. I don't know if was that a defensive battle? Was it we just didn't play well offensively kind of game, or
just you throw anything you want to throw. Both teams had less than 10 turnovers. St. Anthony did not go to the free throw line, I don't think, the whole game. It was a weird game. It really was, Whitey. Like I said, St. Anthony got the lead 8-9 maybe in the first half at one point, led at 8 at the half. And I remember Matt and I talked coming out, how important the first couple minutes were. Okay, if St. Anthony can get that 6-0 run, man, all of a sudden it's 14 and it's a completely different animal. But if Dietrich comes out and gets the first 4 or 6, but there was no quick transition. It was just very slow. Okay, now it's down to 6, 8. Now it's down to 5. It was just a very slow transition.
Yeah.
And great crowd. The Dietrich people really got into the ball game, got noisy. Dietrich tied it up. I don't think they ever took the lead. But so Anthony had the ball, called timeout, 10 seconds on the clock. Everybody in the gym knew who was going to take the last shot. They ran Craig Croy off a kind of a sandwich screen. He kind of ran between two posts. They closed the door, got him the ball. He just took his man kind of off the dribble to the elbow, pulled up and buried a jumper with ice in his veins.
Yeah.
Dietrich got a freshman. I'll say Luke Wessendorf. Now, as soon as I say Luke, that's probably not his name. Really impressed me because he doesn't act like a freshman. Pulled up and hit a jumper one time over Kyle Stewart and had some points, got some shots up, had a Leidy kid, really played hard. And I don't think they're their top two options usually. I think it's the Moody kid and the Britton kid. And sophomore Gephardt kid shot the ball pretty good a couple of times, had some great looks. But it was a game where, there was times both teams in key situations, it was like they were playing giveaway checkers because there weren't physical turnovers, but one team would go down and just all of a sudden take a questionable shot. And then the other team would come down and say, okay, we're now going to take a questionable shot. So no one gets an advantage from this. So, it was a couple of that mixed in and, tight game, but it was just, you got done and Cody's like, okay, it's a win.
Yeah. And
I think that's how he felt.
And it is. And St. Anthony's 4-0 in the National Trail Conference. They're 7-4 overall, but they've played more. Nobody in the conference has played more than 4 games in league play, and they're 4-0. Altamont's the only other undefeated team, and Altamont's only played one conference game. They got a win. I don't know. It was not a conference game this week that they played.
They beat
South
Greenville
Central.
Saturday.
Yeah, they
lost to Carlisle Friday. That one surprised me.
Yeah, Carlisle was Tuesday night. Actually, they played Oblong, Palestine, Hudsonville.
Oh, that's right.
Friday.
My old stomping grounds,
Yeah.
Hudsonville Tigers.
Beat the pants off of them. Dietrich's 2-2 in the conference, 4-4 overall. But you look at them, they're a team that's going to cause people problems. They've got a lot of options. You mentioned all the kids that can score for them. They've only got one double-figure scorer in Booty, and he's averaging close to 20. But then they've got Westendorf, Britton, Gephardt all right in that 9-point range. So a lot of guys who can, and that's a tough team to beat, right? When you can't just shut down 2 guys or 1 or 2 guys and call it a day. But
Right.
The NTC, I've talked about how the NTC is going to be interesting. It's too early to shake out these conference standings too much because like Windsor Stew Straws has only played 1 conference game. They're 0-1. They got they got beat by Dietrich actually, but they're 9-2 overall.
They just won the St. Elmo tournament, didn't they?
Yeah, they sure did. They won the St. Elmo tournament. They beat St. Elmo Brownstown 39-25. South Central got 3rd place in that one. They beat Cumberland 50-30 in the 3rd place game. Windsor Stew Straws is and really St. Elmo Brownstown. They both got good overall records. They haven't. St. Elmo Brownstown 1-3 in conference play. So but again, I just feel like I've been saying that about this league since day one is that there's not a lot of easy outs in there for anybody. Neoga is a pretty good team. I've seen them 2 or 3 times now.
Did Neoga just beat Casey this weekend?
Neoga beat Casey Tuesday, 42-41. Casey went into the Cumberland Thanksgiving tournament and they were the number 1 seed. And they played in the championship game in that and lost to Newton. But Casey's record overall, they're like 3-5. It feels like something's gone on there. Like they might.
I think a lot of people thought how good they were going to be, and I want to say they had a kid moved somewhere in Indiana. They lost a kid to a school in Indiana, and I don't know. I had people saying, "Oh, Casey's the 1A or 2A school to beat in the area," and then and they're not putting up the numbers.
And I say that that's just an aside. I'm not trying to take anything away from yoga. I mean, I live in
No.
yoga. My kids go to school here, so I'm certainly going to pump them up as much as I can. I'm not trying to take anything away. They play a
Kids are
good
gonna
game
start
with our-
taking your daughter's lunch money now, Whitey.
Well, they, we'd step in that pretty quickly. She's not going to skip her lunch. That's all I'm saying.
Oh,
My
no.
background. But they played a good game with Arcola Friday night. I was there for that because she was in a cheer camp, so they were performing at halftime of the JV game. So I got to attend the entire JV game too, which, you know, big night of basketball. But Arcola's got a lot of. We're getting way off subject here, but Arcola, if they run into any of our area teams, they've got some kids who can shoot it. Every time they need a big 3-pointer, they got it. And Neoga got some. Pacey McClure is a real good basketball player, and especially when he catches the ball in rhythm and shoots an open 3. I mean, he had one that would have put them up by a single point in under 30 seconds to go, and it was in and out, but he hit a couple of other big ones down the stretch when they needed it. So Pacey's a kid. NTC tournament rolls around. I really hope he has a nice week. He's a good ball player, a senior. And so that's just another team that you can add to the list of, like, St. Anthony's 4-0, but they've got a lot of tough tests left ahead of them.
Well, and Matt and I were talking, you can contend for the NTC, but you can't get that second loss. I think if you get that second loss, I just think you're going to be out of contention. I mean,
Yeah.
anyone can beat anyone in the conference, but I think you've got a couple schools that, you know, I think I just don't see 2 losses being hung on a couple of them. I see one, but, you know, I don't know. We'll have to see. And Whitey, I'm glad you mentioned that. The McClure kid catch and shoot in rhythm. Doing the game with Matt Friday night, I watched the kid catch the ball at the top of the key. His feet were on the line, so he wasn't a 3. He was just standing right there. And defenders were on him, and then they left, and he's looking to pass, and then there's no one there, and they're standing, you know, flat-footed, and then they shoot. And in my opinion, no rhythm, no nothing, just not a good shot. You know what I mean? Okay, you're open, but
Yeah, it's got the rhythm is important.
it is.
It's just the natural progression of things. It feels right, you know, and it's also goes back to instinct. Now, you know, listen, I've got no real basketball experience to speak from. I wasn't a good player by any means.
Well, some
But,
people will say I have no basketball experience either. Right?
But I will say that, like, I've seen enough games to know that kids who know they want to shoot and know the good shot to take, and just, you know, you can tell when they're feeling good, they're catching that ball and they're putting it up. They're not thinking about it. They knew they were open and they were ready to shoot it before the ball ever got there. And that's just a confidence thing, you know. That's you can't get inside a kid's head and make them approach that situation differently. Now, the McClure kid that I used for the example, Pacey's not one who's lacking for confidence. I can tell. I don't know him at all, but I can tell just by watching him play that that's not an issue. But, you know, that's a really valid point. You know, shooting is there's a lot of steps to a good shot, you know, and it all, in my opinion, starts before the ball's even in your hands. You know, it's all mentally being ready to put that thing up there and being confident that that's your shot and you should take it. So,
well, and you mentioned a person knowing. A good shooter knows when they're receiving a pass, if they're taking that shot or not.
Mhm.
And one of the biggest things, you know, we talked about, you know, well, scoring's down. Part of the reasons, and another factor in why scoring is off a little bit, is passing is terrible. You know, you watch teams play in the zone, and a lot of times you can kick and reverse a ball. Well, if a kid's got to jump here to catch it, or, you know, now defense is able to recover. So, or kids are cutting and the ball, you know, it's just, we're no longer hitting kids in the shooting pocket where they can catch it here, get it in that shooting pocket, catch it and be ready to shoot. There's just too many times watching games and I see it more to JV level but a kid will dribble through traffic, jump up and just throw a hook pass because he knows he's got a teammate over here. Well, maybe one hop and he's got to step and get it. But that's kid like, oh, that was a good pass. No, it was a terrible pass because kid can't do anything with it.
Yeah.
And too many times you're seeing kids who are shooters not able to receive passes on the perimeter in a position where they can catch, rise, and shoot.
Yeah, I've talked about, and this is a little bit of a niche thing too, but I've mentioned before on our show that the Cumberland girls coach, Sammy James, is a good friend of mine, and they're off to a 10-2 start. And I've watched their games online. They put a lot of their games online, so it's easy for me to follow. And the thing from all the previous years to this year with her teams is that the passing is so much better. Kids catch the ball and know what they're going to do with it next. They don't have to catch the ball and then think where the pass is going to go, because by then it's too late. The defense is already adjusted and you're screwed. Okay. The ball movement is so much better, and that leads to better scoring. They go hand in hand, and you could just tell that she's got an experienced group this year where they've played together. They know what they want to do with the basketball. So that's just a way for me to bring up that they're off to a great start, but also point out that that's part of the reason why, right? Like they're just playing really good fundamental basketball, and the wins are there as a result. And that's also a good segue into the girls' side. We've been going for almost an hour, so we'll try to run through this real quick. St. Anthony, the girls, they had a challenging week this week. They played Effingham. They played T-Town Monday night. They played Effingham Thursday night, and then they played Arthur Lovington Atwood Hammond Saturday. And those are, you want to talk about a week? That's a week.
Yeah,
and they didn't win any of those games. But what I'm going to say is that those are weeks that can still make you better. They challenged themselves with this schedule. They got beat pretty good by the time the final scores came in. None of those ended up being close games. The T-Town game they lost by 30 there, but wasn't a 30-point game. The Effingham game was close up until the end. And again, I don't know the particulars of the Atwood or the Arthur Lovington Atwood Hammond game, but that's such a solid team. They lost by 17 there. All I will say is that St. Anthony, their overall record 7-6, but they're 3-1 in their conference games. I think a week like that can still be good for you in the long run, no matter whether the victories came out of it or not. So, they'll be playing in the Mattoon Christmas tournament coming up before long. Hopefully a week like this will prepare you for the challenges that come there. As far as the NTC goes, they're right up there toward the top. Cowden-Herrick Beecher City's undefeated in the conference. So is Neoga. Neoga's 4-0, 10-2 overall. They got a win over Newton yesterday, and also beat Brownstown St. Elmo this week. CHBC, Cowden-Herrick Beecher City, they're 3-0 in the conference, 10-1 overall. They finally lost a game. They lost to Vandalia this week, 62-40 on Tuesday night.
Yeah, I saw that. Vandalia's put up some decent numbers in some games.
Yeah, they have. They got off to a start, and Vandalia plays. They're a bigger school, right? And they play some different schools, some different teams. So, it's hard to look at their record and say, well, Cowden-Herrick Beecher City shouldn't have any trouble with them. But don't take anything away from CHBC. They're off to a great start. Them and Neoga both off to great starts. I still see, the muddle in the middle, Altamont, Diederich, South Central. I think those are all teams that can make life interesting in the NTC Girls Conference. As far as the Effingham girls go, again, they got that win over St. Anthony on Thursday night. On Tuesday that week, they played Charleston. They beat Charleston 58-10. Charleston's girls team just, it's a tough year for them. I think you can you can look up their scores and figure out what's going on there. They just lost a lot to graduation, and it's a tough year. So Effingham took care of business there. They needed to, but then they lost to Lincoln Friday night, 57-29. Lincoln's good, 12-2 overall, 4-1. The Froby girl had a big night, as she so often does. And you're really seeing that Mattoon, Lincoln, and Muhammad,
Yes, yeah.
a really, really good top of the conference there. And Effingham's going to have a little work to do to get back up there, but they're up against it. There's some really good teams in the league. I mean, even the Taylorville girls, interestingly enough, Taylorville girls who lost to Effingham earlier this season, they handed Muhammad Seymour its first loss of the year. That was Friday night, beat them 61-49 too, and led pretty much the whole way as far as I could tell. So that just shows you that even though Taylorville's 3-3 in the conference, 6-7 overall, they're a tough team, and Effingham beat them. So Effingham clearly on the right night can get some things done. Effingham's 9-3 overall too. So even though they're 2-3 in the conference, they haven't lost a non-conference game. It's a good Apollo Conference girls. It's a good girls Apollo Conference. I should get my words in the right order. And T-Town's girls, they took care of business against St. Anthony Monday night. They took care of business against Olney on Saturday, beat them 55-36. And I'm not going to go into a full preview of the week's schedule, but there is one game that got to be circled on the old schedule, and that is tomorrow night, Monday, December 20th. They're going to Paris, and that's going to be a measuring stick game. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but Paris is killing people. They're just destroying everybody they play pretty much. The only game they've lost was against the Terre Haute school in the championship game of their own Thanksgiving tournament. But other than that, those Paris girls are just
I think Paris girls are the 1 seed in the girls division at the State Farm. I saw.
Yeah.
1 or 2. They're the 1 or 2 seed. They're pretty good. Again, that's Lori's schedule, got Paris, and then pretty soon they'll get to go play Central and Modern Day, and then they'll get to go to the Highland tournament and play all, Civic Memorial and all those people. So
they'll be through the wars by the time regionals roll.
Yeah,
and that makes it
that's why.
And that makes it so much more impressive to just circle back briefly on what we talked about last week with her getting 400 wins and how hard it is to stack up a number like that. But then you look at who they play, especially since since T-Town's been out on its own playing in non-conference. I mean, the girls' schedule is no joke. Year in and year out, they play pretty much everybody they can, and they still win ball games. And who knows how it's going to go with Paris, but it's going to make them better, right? Like play a team that good, and it's going to make them better, win or lose. So,
and that's at Paris tomorrow night.
It is at Paris, yes. So, there's room for you if you want to go to it. That's all I'm saying. I don't know that I've seen a high school gym with more bleachers in it than Paris is. They've got a big setup there. So that'd be a fun one to go to if anyone's thinking about it. So there you go. Kind of a semi-quick roundup of the week that was in the area. This coming up week, a lot of schools are kind of taking it easy with their schedules because most of them are playing in holiday tournaments. And so, with that in mind, and just the fact that we have our own families that we want to spend some time with and all that, we're thinking that we're going to take next week off and not have a show. And that gives Mike.
Or we could do a Zoom call with all of our kids.
My daughter would make this thing last 3 hours if we gave her a chance to talk.
Who would talk more, her or Morgan Wilson?
Listen, between the two of them, probably I'll just get 2 of them together. That's what we should do, and just see which one gives out first. I think that would be a pretty good challenge, but I'm not so sure how many people would stick with that for very long on the old YouTube channel. So
yeah, I mean, we talked about giving the time off, and like you said, there's nothing going on. We may revisit after the Christmas tournaments. It may not necessarily be a Sunday or a Monday.
Yeah.
We'll have to see. We'll get back together, and I mean, it's a break. It's not a break because of how some schools are getting shut down. We're just taking a break because there's a lull in the schedule.
Yep. We we got it's just tough. I mean, to try and record the day after, a couple days after Christmas. Well, actually, day after Christmas, I've still got family stuff to do anyway. So yeah, it just makes sense. So we'll take a week or so off. We'll keep you posted on when we might be back at it. But the way that you can know when a new show comes is to subscribe. Okay, just go on. If you've got a Gmail account, then you've got a YouTube account. You can go to YouTube and subscribe, and you'll never miss anything. Or follow us on Facebook. We always post the stuff there as soon as it's available. So you do that, and you'll be fine. And you should tell your friends, and your friends should tell their friends. And someday we will just have more of a following than we know what to do with.
And we're getting there, Whitey. We're over 60.
Yeah.
Once we get this up and running, I'll make sure I send it out to my coaches tonight. I'll tell them they have to subscribe, and then we'll give them a little something extra in the hospitality room.
I think that should be a condition of being a guest on this show, is that the only way we'll have you on as a guest is if you also subscribe to our YouTube channel. To which
we've had some great shows. I had a guy see me in Walmart the other day, and he says, "How do I get to watch these?" He says, "I talked to a friend, and he said your show with Uwe was incredible." And I was explaining to him as I was actually waiting in line to get my booster shot. I was explaining to him, well, you got to go here and do this. So, okay. So
it's not too hard, I mean,
no, it is.
Obviously, if you're watching this, you already know, but it's very simple. You go to YouTube, search Whitey and Wills, should be good to go. So
can you give a subscription as a gift? I don't think you can.
Well, I don't know, but you should be able to, because it's better than anything else you get. I guarantee you that much. All right. We've probably pumped each other's tires enough for one night. Lord knows we don't need any more. We don't need any more self-confidence, I don't think. So
happy. Merry Christmas to the Whites.
Yeah.
Have a lot of fun. Your kids are at that age where they wake you up Christmas morning.
Oh boy.
Unlike in my house where we have to now wake them up.
Yeah.
My son gets home. We're shooting between 1 or 2 in the morning, Christmas Eve, Christmas morning, because he's got to work. And by the time he leaves Vanderbilt University Medical Center, he's hoping to be home by 1 in the morning. So I may stay up and kind of be like an elf on the shelf and stay up and wait on him, or I may just go to bed too.
Well, you can try. It seems to me like it'd probably be a bit of a challenge for you to stay up that late in your advanced years, but yeah, I'm sure it takes on something special for you to have the kids out of the house, or out on their own doing their own thing, and then come back in. So I'm sure that's a good feeling too. But yeah, we'll be up at 4:30, explaining why we need to wait another hour. Wait until Dad's had his coffee before we start opening presents, and they're not going to care, and we'll get it all sorted out, and it'll be good. So to everybody else who's watching this, enjoy your holiday too, whatever you're celebrating. We hope you have a good holiday season and
have a great time. Spend time with your families.
Yep, absolutely.
Come out to a Christmas tournament near you. I know one that would love to have you.
And if you can't make it, listen to it. By God, there'll be plenty of good radio broadcasts that week too.
Yes.
Go to 979xfm.com, get the schedule, see which games we're broadcasting, and there'll be some other media there too. So and go to the website, the Christmas Classic website should I think it's got a breakdown of
yes, we got it all up there. I would read you and I don't have that in front of me. The name, it's
I'm gonna look it up right here. I mean,
Aham, T-Town, Xmas.
I
feel bad that I'm saying that.
I'm a little disgusted with you for not knowing it off the top of your head, Mike.
Well, I have the brackets here, and I know it's on the cover, of the program, but it's not on the bracket sheet. Yeah, that's poor on my part. I admit it.
But if you search for it, you'll find it on the web.
I'll tell you just a second.
I- This is scintillating radio or broadcasting, whatever you want to call it. But I think we should be able to tell people where to find it. Yes, it's here we go. Eham-Teutopolis.com.
I knew it.
So one more time, Eham-Teutopolis.com. Go there.
And it's a very nice website.
It is.
You can keep track of you can see how many points kids are scoring on teams, how many rebounds throughout the tournament. It keeps stats updated. There'll be box scores in there. Morgan Wilson runs the social media with help from her assistant, Jessica Wilson.
Mhm.
I have nothing to do with it. I'll be brutally
Well,
honest.
I can attest to that. There's no way you could have anything to do with it. So
Yeah, it's good. But yeah, should be good. Which side of the creek are you on? Do you know yet?
we're still figuring things out since Matt's boy
Okay.
is playing down in Sesser. We're not 100% sure what it's gonna look like, but I hope
Is there a possible Larry Wilson being called out of retirement to help?
that's above my pay grade. I just go where I'm told to go. And that's also my cop out answer because I honestly have no idea. But yeah, it should be a
he's,
good tournament. And I'll look if hopefully I'll bump into you somewhere over there. But in the meantime, have a good Christmas. Enjoy your time with your family, and we'll talk at some point.
You too. Looking forward to it.
All right, take it easy, Mike.
See you, Jess.